never. They would never put leeches and caustics on a penis.
Yeah.
But they do so to, you know what?
God, this feels like such dark history, like, in regards to something that we would have done to, like Native Americans or another country when we occupied and invaded, and we have too. But it's crazy to think that we've done it even to our own white women. Like that's wild.
If women are okay, if I'm reading words that aren't together. Elizabeth Packard grasped the harsh reality: if women remain true to their natures, there is no hope for them. Every genuine emotion had to be stifled. Every act of difference from society's prescribed model of femininity had to be suppressed. Elizabeth could not display her anger at what had happened, even a hint of hatred for her husband. Her psychiatrist was watching, and her unlikely emotion would justify her continued incarceration. And after all, women had ungovernable personalities and a strong resolution. Plenty of what is determined as nerve were literally textbook examples of female insanity. Nonetheless, Elizabeth wrote of the breaking in she was supposed to be experiencing. I think it'll be a long time before this cure is effected. Determined to remain true to herself, she wrote, God grant that the time may never wear away me the spirit of resistance. And that spirit of resistance is something we all still need, because the medicalization of female behavior didn't stop in the 19th century, nor did it attempt to silence and discredit women by claiming we were crazy. Think of the suffragists who were deemed hysteric when doctors declared this is a mix-up with the women's movement, much mental disorder. Think of, Rose McGowan, whose resolve to hold Harvey Weinstein to account, saw her lawyers discuss a plot to make her seem increasingly unglued. A memo revealed. Oh, his lawyers saw to discuss a plot. Think of Nancy Pelosi and that standing up to Donald Trump, there's something wrong with her upstairs. Trump rallied on Twitter in response. She's a very sick person. That hot night in 1860, Elizabeth thought her life was over. In fact, it was only just beginning. The worst that my enemies can do, they have done, and I fear them no more, she wrote, being locked in the asylum. I am now free to be true and honest. This woman-crushing machinery works the wrong way. The true woman shines brighter and brighter under the process instead of being strangled. Despite the odds being stacked against her, she managed to triumph and change the world, improving the rights of women and the mentally ill. Women are meant to fly and soar, she wrote, not to creep and crawl, as the haters of our sex want us to do.
Yeah.
So...
I want a nice adventurous girl, yeah.
But it's so interesting that, literally women having their own minds and being like, maybe I don't want to have a 9th child. Maybe I would like to go out into the garden and read. Is so simply a reason for their husband to be like, oh, nope, she's not producing kids. Gotta lock her up.
Right.
Goddamn. It's so weird. Oh my god.
She's not producing kids. Lock her up and take away the things that she has to produce kids with. Like, okay.
Yeah, right? They're like, she's not producing kids, so I'm gonna take away the thing that we want her to. That's even proof that they don't know how women reproductive works. Because they're gonna lock her right back up for not having kids.
Yeah, for real.
What? Sir, you don't make any sense.
And I think that's almost... Well, there's a deep thing to that, though, because... And I completely agree that the logic is inconsistent, but I think it's supposed to be. Because I think it is about having the woman come out on bottom and the patriarchy come out on top. It's not supposed to be consistent. You're not supposed to make a sense of it. Because its logic is not a matter of, being this easily tricked into kind of thing. It is about the systemic disenfranchisement of women. And the push for, this kind of patriarchal, domineering, emotionless, kind of cold man. So that's the thing. Cause, and in other words, the reality of it is no, the logic is screwed. It isn't consistent. It's not right, and it seems to go against its own self-interest. I would be weary though to say that again stuff that goes against its own self-interest is doing so in a way to completely defeat itself. At the end of the day, what it was about subjugation of women, so in any way they could do that, they still kind of won. It wasn't that they went, oh no, we took away her reproductive organs, shit, we screwed ourselves up. It's like, no, they could easily find a new woman or something and then just kind of toss her away in the asylum. Like, and maybe make her an example too. So I think going forward, like, it's interesting to consider that, and I know you believe this deep down too, like, while it's fun to poke fun at, like, logical inconsistencies, the reality is the people who are being logically inconsistent benefit from that. They benefit from cognitive dissonance. They sleep very well. And so you gotta be very suspicious of these people who seem to go against their own self-interest. Like when we talk about, like, the conservatives of today voting against some kind of infrastructure bill that would help their quality of life because, oh no, the Democrats are pushing the infrastructure bill. We think, oh no, they're voting against their own interests because these are old people who would benefit from greater infrastructure in the country for their mobility. And it's like, yes, they are, but in a way they're not, right? They still truly, I think, do in some sense get their kicks off of being in a country that has poor infrastructure and being part of a big boys club of, like, prejudiced conservatives and traditionalism that hates the progress of infrastructure. So there's always still interest being cultivated at the end of the day. It's never completely just against itself. Yeah, I know you know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my monologue.
But it's like, it's interesting when you look up the fact that, like, because people are like, you know, they'll do things like, why doesn't she leave them in terms of, like, domestic violence, or why don't women do this and why don't women do that? And it's, well, like,
obviously during this time that was a very valid reason. Like, yeah, they were gonna get locked up.
No, yeah. But it's like, but the thing is like, people are like, well, why don't? And it's like, because for a very long time, women were. They only thought women's use was to have children and to take care of the home. And so just because it's 2023 doesn't mean that there aren't still older people who have been instilled with that belief and that tradition that women shouldn't be, you know, in politics. That's why they call women, you know, especially Democratic women in politics, like, crazy, and oh, well, a woman could never be pregnant, or a woman could never be president because her emotions would cause us to go into a war.
Bro, what if we had a pregnant single mom as president?
That'd be really fun, actually.
That would cause a CW, bro.
That'd be a CW pilot, actually.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But, like, you know, that's why a lot of reasons people, you know, were like, oh my, when I saw, you know, for the 2016 election, you know, it was like, oh, well, if we had a woman president, her hormones would cause us to get into wars. She would cry. She would do this. And it's like, so you're talking about, like, every male president ever? Like, yeah, every male president that has gotten us into conflicts and war? Like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, well, then look at all the, you know, European governments, or, you know, the non-European governments ruled by women. And it's like, they're solving the issues of their country. They're actually getting things done.
Oh, yeah. You know, dude, name 10 of Angela Merkel's albums, bro. That's what I'm saying. Woo, woo, woo.
You know, but it's like, it's so weird because, you know, but people act like, you know, because it's modern day that, oh, well, you shouldn't, like, you know, there shouldn't be any reason for women to be held back. And it's like, there shouldn't be, but for some goddamn reason, we have ingrained it in society that women aren't capable of doing more than being a wife and a mom. Because we're still, you know, we still have biases against single moms. You know, especially single moms who aren't taken up with a boyfriend to help.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, my mom would get, like, you know, I could tell that they were judging her because she was working a job and she didn't have, like, a husband or a boyfriend or whatever to help, you know, for PTAs. and, you know, fundraisers and meeting with the school to talk about classes and parent-teacher conferences